Graybeards. Welcome to another drive time with your host Wayne. On my way home from work, it's a little rainy, gloomy day today. The roads are a little wet. Wouldn't consider them slick. Some people would. You see some people. Funny how they drive. It starts raining. They all get real weird about it. It's not like it's a heavy rain. The roads are wet, and in all fairness, it does, require more caution. Your stopping distance, traction, and the curves and those type of things. Certainly, I don't know if South Carolina has a rule like Virginia, where if it's raining, your wipers are on, your lights are on, right? They have to be on. If your wipers are on, your lights have to be on. But just so you know, in South Carolina here, it is illegal to just drive in the middle lane or center lane as the left lane. That's the passing lane. If you're just out there cruising like just about everybody on this road, with the exception of a few, me, I don't know. I haven't seen anybody get pulled over or enforced on that. I think it's a good rule because people get in that middle lane and they drive whatever speed. They're not passing anybody. They're just driving in the middle lane. Now, some states, I don't think South Carolina is the only state that has this rule or law. But let me know what you think. You think that's a good idea or not? I think there is some other states, because I think there's some videos out there on the old interwebs of where I think one law enforcement officer that was pulling people over because they're just out on their Sunday drive on a Friday in the middle lane, impeding traffic. We're fast for traffic. Sure, they may be speeding. I don't know. I'm not going to say. They just get out there. Just those things that irritate you. I got it. They don't care. They're in their own little world. I got it in their little, Hyundai, Kia, piece of crap, whatever they're running around in. And if you own one of them, I'm sorry. Not really. You'll find out sooner or later. Probably sooner than later. Anyways, I could go on a tirade about vehicles. They're all garbage anymore, if you ask me. I've been a fairly loyal GM owner most of my adult life. But I don't care what you got anymore. They're these newer vehicles they're putting out. I saw it. It's just ridiculous. My son-in-law has a 2018, and he has a part that's malfunctioning for the emissions, and just the part alone to get at the dealership or stealership, if it's going to be $400 and some. And I told him, I said, you're probably better off. I told him we could probably do it. But then again, I've never done it on that particular vehicle or that sensor. It's somewhat involved. It's part of the exhaust emissions. It's not an O2 sensor. They call it. It's kind of elaborate because this is a diesel. It's a little more involved than just an O2 sensor. I can do an O2 sensor, that ain't a problem. But I told him, I said, that's an expensive part. You mess it up, you miss something, you could end up costing yourself more money than it would cost to have it done. Now, granted, he lives up in Maryland up there. Things are probably a little more expensive and just in general, I think. But where they live, it's not too bad. But I think dealerships aren't as bad as if you're very specific on what you want them to do. Don't just go in there and say, my car didn't work. Can you fix it? They'll come up with every little widget, wadget, charge you a lot of money, something for some DIY stuff that you can do yourself. I know this is probably a good topic for drive time, vehicles. I'm not as much of an enthusiast as I used to be as I've gotten older. I can appreciate why people keep vehicles longer. The quality of some of the newer vehicles. Sure, they're all nice and gadgety and got all kinds of creature comfort. Heck, some of them can drive themselves. That's cool, and that's a nice feature. I ain't gonna lie. Many a times when I've been in my younger days, I used to push the limit. I can tell you a story. My wife and I, right after we got married, the day after we got married, we jumped in. My very first pickup truck I ever bought was a 1982 Toyota. Just a little tiny truck. 2 people, you're rubbing elbows in the front seat of it. That's, it only had 2 seats. It was only 2-seater. But anyways, we stayed up late, reception, and that's another story. And talk about my night after my wedding. I won't go into it, but we were up late, and we were getting up super early to drive 1,200 miles back to Pennsylvania, and then we're going to go up to Niagara Falls. Well, long story short, I got about halfway through the drive, and the radio quit working in the truck. It just stopped working. I don't know why, fuse or whatever. And I remembered making a little adjustment in my seat, and next thing I know, my dad was following me. He's yelling on the old CB radio telling me to wake up, and I was heading towards the ditch off at it was I-90, which was a toll road. He probably saved my life and my wife's life by calling me on the radio. And that, those little things. I managed to keep it, the dirty side down, if you will, and went up onto the road. I traumatized my wife for the rest of her life. She sits in the passenger seat and she's got the imaginary brake pedal, and my fault. Because she was sleeping when the whole thing. But anyways, I digress. Sorry, Robin. But yeah. So I told my son-in-law, I said, hey, you should just take it to the dealer, see what they want to do the work, and how much it would cost you. If it's $700-800 to put it in, most dealerships will warranty their work and the part that they installed. So I told him to look into it. I said it's not a detrimental thing to the vehicle operation, I don't think, but in the long run it will be. Just because all that emission stuff they have on them is just, they say it's good for the environment, but in my experience it ends up being more problematic. But they don't want the cars to last forever. But that's my 2 cents. They're in the business to sell cars, so they don't want them lasting forever. It's getting tough to find parts for older vehicles anyways. Well, let me know what you think. Do you think newer vehicles are that much better? Most of mine are 15 or 8 to 20 years old. I have some older than that, one older than that. No, 2 older than that. So I like my older vehicles. I'm going to keep driving them till the wheels fall off, hopefully. I might buy something new here in the near future, but I don't know what. We'll see. But anyways, if you got a comment, please put it down below. Thanks for joining me on this little drive. I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. We had a good one. Appreciate each and every one of you. All my family and friends that take the time to watch the videos, I do appreciate it. This makes me think you value what I have to say. All right, take care.